So good morning everyone. Hope you are well out there. It's been a little while since I posted, I think over a week. Again, time catches up to you. But I'm going to be hitting Rentschler Forest today. This is, I'm 8 minutes away from this small little park. Runs along the Great Miami. And this is something where I'm going to be starting to do a little bit more trekking. No pun intended, Trekopolis, get it? But I'm going to be doing a little more on-foot adventures. Still riding the bike, don't worry. I know I have a lot of fans out there that have ADV 150s and they like to see the bike in action, things like that. But also I want to start exploring off the bike as well. So just a little bit mix up in my videos, which I think is still going to be interesting. And it's nice that you can get on an ADV like this, or any motorbike for that reason, and basically do these little excursions. Most of the ones I'm going to be able to do, because the time constraints, are going to be somewhat local in my area. I'm not going to be doing overnight trips or weekly camping trips. I have a lot of responsibilities here, so I can't do that. But you still can do these day trips. There's a lot around the city that I live in, and I keep forgetting that. There's plenty to do, plenty to see, and I think people that like to watch the videos have a few interests. So I'm kind of in that really, mix of, is this a moto vlog? Is this an adventure log? Vlog, I should say. So it's hard to really pinpoint what it's going to entail or how it's going to evolve. But I think for my own interest, and I think for the viewer, a mix of riding the bike and a mix of kind of showing the area can be entertaining. Not to everybody. There's some people that just like to watch a bike ride down a road, and to me that gets a little dry sometimes, so I like to mix it up with getting off the bike. So this is the park that I'm heading to, Rentschler Forest, and I'll cover a little deeper once I get in here. But there's some nice houses on the right. I would love to have one of these homes just back here off the beaten path where it's quiet, and yeah, that would be interesting. There's a drive on the right coming up here. It's a private drive that goes actually back to some homes. There's homes way back there off the river, and it's for private guests only, or private residents only, I should say. But anyway, enjoy the park here. I'm going to kind of give a little more explanation. I know I've been here before and I've ridden through the park before, but I've not really talked about it too much. And again, I'm just minutes away from this place, so I've been up here quite a bit with family and myself. And if you're ever in the area, check it out, Rentschler Forest, MetroPark. So yeah, not a bad little park. 300 acres, a lot of forest. As far as the walking, there's some nice fire pits around. The walking trails are not very long excursions. I think just maybe a couple miles total, but they have several. I think like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different walking trails around the park. Again, so it's not gonna. They're kind of just mild. I think there's a few hills on one of them. So you got flatter ones, and I think they rate them somehow for some of these hiking trails, but they're not too bad. There's a few that, like I said, have a little bit steeper hills, but so there's a variety. Over there on the left, that's the bathrooms area. It's a nice stone building, and the bathrooms and everything are kept clean. What I like about this park is the cleanliness of it, and the Metro Parks in our area do a great job for Butler County. All the parks, well, the ones I've been to, especially this one, are maintained very well. They're very clean. They don't charge to get into this park. Years ago, I'd say probably close to 10 years ago, maybe less, they're painting some handicap signs on the guy right there was getting attacked by a bee or something. I was like, what is he doing? And he was like running from this insect. Pretty interesting, but I'm glad it didn't follow me. So yeah, back to the story, but they maintain the parks very well. And you used to have to pay if you were not a resident of Fairfield Township to get back here. Excuse me, they had a little booth at the entrance, like a little man hut. I don't know what you call them. And you had to pay, and they would check your license, but they've disbanded that. I think ever since COVID, or actually well before COVID, they figured that this little park is probably not generating enough money to even make it worth it, as far as, because most people that come here, honestly, is going to be from the local area. I don't think too many people that, live outside of the Fairfield Township area would be interested in driving that far for a small park like this. So it's nice because it is smaller. You don't get a lot of outsiders as far as, people from different counties. So it's pretty quiet. It's a nice little sanctuary that there's a lot of birds in that area behind that sign there. Watershed, I think they call it, but it's nice to be able to take the bike off the beaten path like this. I don't go crazy because, people, I don't think really appreciate somebody on a motorbike riding around a park off the beaten path, so I got to be careful about that. But it's quiet, so I don't really interrupt anyone. So yeah, it's free to get in, whether you're a Fairfield Township resident or not. You just drive on in here, and if you ever get around the area, look it up. Google it. It's basically, Fairfield Township is probably maybe 10 miles north, 15 miles north, well, maybe 10 of the city of Fairfield. So it's kind of its own vibe. It's a different, it's not as busy. It's quieter than the city. A little more just, spaced out a little bit. You know what I mean? So we enjoy it. We'll probably stay here. I'm not sure right now, but this might be it. This might be where we're gonna retire. And I like the area, and I like the little parks, and it's kind of hard to beat, really. So it's a little process, storing the helmet under the seat, and because if you don't have enough storage area for other stuff, it gets a little aggravating, but I don't like to carry a helmet around, so I'm going to get a lanyard. I think instead of stuffing it under the seat, I'm just going to get they have these locking like cable lanyards that you can buy off Amazon for like $10. Some have a key, some of them have a combination. I'm just going to do, I think, a combination just so I don't have to carry, but I got my keys on me anyway, so probably a key, because I'm always a big, I don't like the key fob type processes. The combination locks are not that bad, but I might get a locking lanyard and just use a key method or something. Who knows? I'll decide on that later. But anyway, walking on foot now, going out to more of the river's edge area. I could probably take the bike back here, but I don't want to abuse. If you start letting that stuff happen, then you're going to get ATVs and you're going to have other motorbikes riding around at the park, and they don't want that. I'm sure they want to curb that pretty quick, because it is a quiet little park. So I don't mind. I need the exercise anyway. Get off the bike, and this is what's fun about a little motorbike like this. You can get off the bike and you can just walk around, and it's not a complicated process, and I don't really worry about anyone bothering my bike. Look, this is like Saturday morning, I think, very early, and it's just a safe park. I don't have it's not even a thought to leave my bike out there and walk away from it in this place, because that's pretty much how safe this park is to me. I've been here around 17 years, I think, so been a long time, and I've never heard of any issues at this park, so that's nice. But yeah, they got the picnic tables here. You can just come out and read or hang out. The river is very calm right now. It's not really flowing too much at all. Some people do fish this, and I don't really enjoy fishing in a heavily flowing river. It's kind of nice when it's pretty calm like this, but you're still going to get some flow to it, And I don't really, seems like I don't like to fish that way. Nice birch trees and stuff in the area. These are beautiful trees. Yeah, these are really cool. But anyway, you can fish here if you like that kind of thing. There's a dam that's straight ahead that you can't really see from the GoPro, because of the I usually shoot in wide angle. Super wide mode on the GoPro gets a little too fish-eye to me, so I think the happy medium is right in the middle, about wide. You can shoot linear mode too, which is you don't have any wide angle on at all. So I might experience that a little bit more, especially when I'm walking on foot, to see how that looks. But right now I have the camera set to wide mode, if you're curious. And there's the wetlands. I said watershed earlier, but there is watershed around here, but this is the little wetlands, they call it, and get a lot of different bird species and things in this area. If you're a bird fan and you have for instance, I've been shooting photography most of my life, but I don't have the gear, like the big long reach. I got a 400 millimeter lens, but it's not quality glass, if you know what I mean. So when you zoom in, it's like fuzzy. I don't like it. I just completely lost interest in photography because I've been too cheap to buy really good gear. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I'm getting ready to fall over because I'm getting old. I don't know. But anyway, the wetlands on the left and the river on the right. And I'm heading back towards, there's a nice path back here that leads back to the dam. But it's hard to get to, and it's really muddy, so I didn't go all the way back to the dam, but I might do that one day. And so I just want to, this is a nice little walk where you can just walk along the river's edge like this. And a day like this, it was very quiet. These drop-offs here are pretty steep. I would say 10 feet drop. So you got to be careful. You got little kids, be careful. They'll like fall right over the edge, and depending on how strong the current is, you're going to probably have to dive in and get them. So be careful with kids around here and animals, because that drop off there on the edge, the camera doesn't do it justice. It's pretty steep. I would say at least 10 feet in areas. So, and it's almost straight up incline, so it's going to be hard to climb up out of that. So I'm surprised more people don't have issues out here with that, because I look down there, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a drop, you know, and you can't tell by the camera because it flattens everything, you know. But yep, straight ahead there is the dam, and the dam does have a 8 to 12 foot drop as well, as you can see there. Not too hateful, but you know, there's just a lot of natural beauty up here with the flowers and the insects, and it's just all around you. You can hear the locusts and everything, and I'll put the audio on more of that when I start walking through the path down here. But yeah, it's a beautiful area. I've taken many photos up here with my photography hobby. Not as much anymore, because this, you know, YouTube channel's really time consuming, and it's taken all my time. As far as if I do have any availability in my spare time, they call it, I'll do that, the video, more so than taking photography. I'm kind of burned out on photography, because I did it for like probably 2 decades or more, almost 3 decades. So the photography, like I said, some of my work's been published in books and stuff, but you know, it's just local stuff. Capture Cincinnati was one of the books I was in. I had a nice bridge shot of the city downtown, you know, so I guess that's pretty good. It's kind of neat to say I was published in a book, 2 books actually, and they were both Cincinnati books, and it's really kind of I guess a accomplishment, but it was always a hobby, so I really never pursued it anymore. And I can't afford $15,000 high-powered lenses with quality glass. Just ain't gonna happen. So that's why I really never went into it professionally. So this is the path, walks along the river's edge. We'll get a little bit of sound here so you can kind of hear the dam. what I find interesting is no matter where you go, no matter how early it is, no matter how remote of a location you think you're at, and I know this is not way out in the wilderness, don't get me wrong, but oh my gosh, there's always people somewhere. I'm walking back to these trails thinking, there's not going to be a soul back here. I mean, sure enough, there's a couple laying back there on a blanket with a dog, kind of a big dog, and I didn't want to spook them because they didn't hear me at all. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just turn around. It's like, oh my goodness, can't go anywhere without a human being being around. You know, I've heard stories of people trekking way out in the desert, and like, oh, sure enough, there's a guy out there fishing. Like, well, people everywhere, man. It's a big planet, but it's surprising how many people are around. And there was a guy out there earlier, a few seconds ago, when I was shooting across the way there where the dam, you can't see it by the camera, but there's a guy out there like walking around, I guess at the bottom of the dam area. So apparently you can get to the other side of that bank from somewhere. I might have to go check that out sometime, because I see a lot of people back there venturing around where the water's falling in the dam area, you know, and there's like another bank over there, but I have no idea how to get back there, so you probably have to go roundabout way. But yep, there are people out there, people everywhere. What can you do? But I'm just as guilty, because I'm out here moseying around too. But it's funny to me that you can never kind of escape people in general. There's always somebody around. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, as you can tell, I kind of more of a independent. I like to be kind of in seclusion. I like peace and quiet, and you know, I would not mind being just out in the middle of nowhere with absolutely nobody around, unless I had a toothache, right? Then you need a dentist, but no. But yeah, this is the Great Miami River, and the dam area feeds the water around kind of a loop, but the main river continues on. You can kind of see that in the map I showed earlier. But you know, some nice picnic areas. You can sit there and, you know, grab a lunch, bring a lunch, grab a book, and yeah, it's just a nice quiet little park. But like I said, always somebody around somewhere. It is a park after all. Yeah, like I said, I took a lot of photos here. Got some pretty nice shots of some sunsets back here, but once the sun goes down, it gets dark really quickly back here. So, and then they kind of close up shop. They close the park at dark. They don't open till 8, so if you want to get back here, you have to either ride a bike back here or walk, because there is a gate that doesn't open till 8, which is not real sure why they do that. I guess just to keep people out from spending the night back here in vehicles, you know. Does that make sense? But I wish if anyone's listening from Butler County Parks, yeah, please, maybe in the summertime, at least hours, you know, make it where the gate opens at like 7 a.m. or, you know, even 6:30, because there's a lot of people that like to come back as the sun, you know, heck, by 8 o'clock, the sun's already been out 2 hours, so that's 2 hours of limitation on the park, you know what I mean? So anywho, back at the bike here, I'm gonna start it back up, do the key fob process, and hope it works, and so far so good. But yeah, it's you know, now I have to get the 2 hands to get the helmet seat unlocked because it's too much pressure on it. So hey, I hope you enjoyed the little tour of Rentschler's Forest. Again, nice little quaint park. Gets really busy on weekends though, especially around the kid area. On a nice day, on a Saturday, it can get, and I'm not sure about Sundays too much, but it can get quite busy. So, but if you're in the area, check it out. Make sure if you like the video, subscribe and hit the little notification bell. I kind of sounds silly to keep repeating that, but apparently it works. I don't know. Anyway, guys, just trying to grow the channel, and I appreciate all the support. If you do want to subscribe, I'm going to start doing a little bit more adventure type thing, maybe on foot like this one a little bit, but getting to more some excitement, a little bit better exciting places and things like that. So stay tuned. And I have the Facebook group, the Facebook page is Trekopolis, so you can check out my Facebook and I can chat there a little bit more about detailed stuff behind the scenes. So you guys take care and stay tuned.